Welcome to the first inaugural edition of the Tokyo Crypto Show. I am your host, Jonathan from Modern Life Dating. Today we have Charlie from cultivatecrypto.com. Charlie, you gonna say hello?
Hey, y'all.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency today. What is cryptocurrency?
Basically, the best use case for it, you'll basically have access to a Swiss bank account within your smartphone or computer. The best way to describe the technical aspect behind it is that it's simply just a record of transactions.
I'll just put it in hot dude terminology, okay? Cryptocurrency is a digital currency. 9 times out of 10, it's used on some sort of a blockchain. And a blockchain is a permanent ledger that is showing the exact transaction, but it is anonymous. You can trace where Bitcoin goes forever, but basically it's a digital currency that I can send to you and you can send to me, and really nobody really is going to know about it. Like, they would have to do some serious digging to find the money you sent to me or the money I sent to you. I think investing in cryptocurrency now, because every year the internet gets bigger and bigger and bigger. People are making purchases with cryptocurrency. It's basically a digital currency that you can send internationally with very small fees, almost instantaneously, and it can't be regulated or controlled by the government. Like, if you, just as long as you have your wallet, and a wallet is basically a digital device that you keep your cryptocurrency on. Nobody can have access to it, only you.
Yeah, and you can take it off and put it on like a cold storage, which is basically a device that's not connected to the internet, so nobody could steal it, right?
Right.
And you can also write it down on paper or access it through that. So you can have a paper wallet, or even what they call like a mind wallet. If your wallet create a chain of 12 words,
Yep.
You can just memorize those words and actually keep it in your mind.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
And one of the big telltale signs for me personally, the Japanese people are very risk aversive. For them to make some kind of acceptance of this, the fact that they approved it, especially with their meticulous, stringent nature, I think for me that's a huge, huge green light. Mo says, what do you think about the recent price jump of Litecoin?
I love it. I own a lot of those things. So in terms of USD, it's great, but also it's outpacing Bitcoin, because people track it in terms of Litecoin to USD. If you're really into cryptocurrency, you don't really want to track everything in USD. You'd probably want to track all the altcoins, which are alternative currencies, anything else than Bitcoin. You'd want to track compared to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
There's a couple questions in here which are good. One, Bitcoin now has futures. Yeah, there's a lot of theories on how that would affect Bitcoin. Some people say there's a fancy word called rehypothecation, which is basically you will relend something more than once, which means the person who's getting relent doesn't actually own it. So therefore, you're inflating the price. There'd be more Bitcoin than actually can be created, in theory. So some people think that could potentially actually affect the price of Bitcoin, but some people say no, that actually doesn't affect the price. So I think that's debatable, but that's something that's a little bit more complicated. I don't know exactly what you mean, Wasted John, but Nano Ledger and the Trezor are the two hardware wallets that I think are pretty solid. Technically, everything is hackable. Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to do that.
So what a wallet is, it's a piece of technology that you keep your Bitcoin in, okay?
Now, just a digital wallet. So I mean, you don't have to take too much of a stretch of imagination to.
So
that, right?
Just to keep it simple, let's keep it real simple for them. Like, you can keep a wallet on your phone, you can keep a wallet on your iPad, you can keep a wallet on your PC or your laptop, and that is where
you can keep it on paper too.
Well, I don't recommend a paper wallet,
actually, it's very useful.
But you can definitely keep the cryptocurrency in there. I personally don't recommend keeping your cryptocurrency on an exchange. Basically, it's like a bank, but they have way more power over your money, which is cryptocurrency.
Yeah, they might not actually have the same amount of crypto that they're holding for people. So it's like a normal bank. If you go to a normal bank, they'll say, put your money in here and then you can come take it out anytime. But obviously during the stock market crash of 1929, everybody goes to the bank and says, oh, I want my money out. Well, actually, we relent that out 5 times over, so we only have enough money for the first 10 people that came or whatever. It's the same in cryptocurrency on the exchange. There's a lot of them that say, oh, we have so much of this Bitcoin here. But if everybody tried to get their Bitcoin at the same time, the good exchanges would actually have them, and they're coming out with decentralized exchanges where you actually hold the private keys or control them, and the exchange doesn't. And that would theoretically be impossible for them to do that. Currently, exchanges only trust a few of them, and that's with stuff that you're actively trading. Otherwise, keep it off of the internet if possible.
Those are some keywords there, right? Talking about centralized and decentralized. So centralized means that there's some group of humans that can control what happens with your money. If you keep your Bitcoin on, let's say, Coinbase, right? Coinbase can at any time just decide, hey, that you have a security risk or whatever to your account, and boom, lock your account, and then just keep all your cryptocurrency.
Well, there's ways that if you did KYC, which is called Know Your Customer, basically if you put your information about yourself, like your name, your bank, maybe some credit card information or whatever ties your identity to that, they have a privacy policy which would then be enforceable by the government. So they would have to pay people out eventually.
But like you're talking like months compared to like if you just have it on your own wallet, you have it instantaneously.
You can't access it instantaneously. It'd be a criminal offense that you'd have to go to court for.
We have a good question here from Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson says, should I use and link multiple wallets and sync them or just one wallet?
To answer the question, would you have multiple wallets? It's fine to have as many wallets as you want. You can probably have, I would actually do that because then, if you have one on an exchange, that exchange gets hacked, you lose like maybe 10% of your money. But then, you have your hardware wallet is probably the best way to keep most of your coins because that's off of the internet. Virtually impossible for anybody to access that. Keep most of it there. And then maybe distribute it over a few different other types of online wallets or hot wallets on your desktop. But I would not sync them all together because once you sync them all together, if you did something like that, there's some application you use to do that. If one of them has any info of your identity, then once somebody has that info, they can link all the wallets together and they know exactly how much money you're holding in each of those wallets and that all those wallets belong to you. I don't do any KYC. I don't add my name. I don't add anything that would identify me. The only thing that you have to use is your email address, but you could make a new email address for each wallet that you use on an exchange as long as you remember those passwords.
Omar says crypto is very volatile, can lose 30% in one day, and since it's not backed by state nor gold, it doesn't have intrinsic value. It's very hard to not see it as a Ponzi pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I think that's the most common argument for it.
I'll put it very simple, okay? I'll just put it very simple. What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is internet money. Internet usage is getting more and more and more prevalent, okay? In addition to that, people are becoming more and more sovereign. People are wanting more and more freedom. People want the government's telling them not to do this. People just wanting that more and more. People want increasing freedom.
The best thing that I would say to that is basically fiat or cash is actually used to be backed by gold. So it used to actually have some value. It said it's an IOU for the gold that's supposedly in the vault of the American bank or whichever country you're running. Gold is actually valuable because it's been the store of value, the thing that people hold their wealth in for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And that's because it's shiny. But the thing with gold is that it's heavy. You can't transfer it anywhere on the internet. People term Bitcoin as digital gold. So it is backed by a lot of things, which is, cryptography, the algorithm that supports it, the work, the energy, the actual computing output that needs to be done to make Bitcoin. So if you actually take some time to learn about what it actually does, I think Wasted John mentioned, he thought the same thing. And then once he started learning about it, he actually, figured out why it's valuable. But if you go back to all currency or any asset is only as valuable as people will pay for it.
Right.
So as long as people want to transact with Bitcoin, it will become more and more valuable, as long as the internet wants to continue growing. So that's kind of a no-brainer.
Two questions here from Ivan and Omar, and he says, is it more profitable to mine or buy crypto?
Buy.
What is mining? Mining, what it is you're using a computer to help process the network of whichever cryptocurrency you're using. So if you mine for Bitcoin, right? Mining means you're processing the transactions on the network And as you help process these transactions by using your computer's power, you get a reward of cryptocurrency for free. So how Bitcoin works is it's called a blockchain because the data is saved in these things called blocks, right? And it's basically it's a ledger. And a ledger is who's the money going from and who's the money going to. Okay, yep. From and to, and it just keeps a data log of all this information on a block, and then it's coded in alphanumeric code, so it's very, very difficult to decode. Yeah. Once each block is filled up, the reward for helping process the transactions on that block is at this moment, David Dock says 12.5. Is
that's what I thought.
Okay, 12.5 per block.
But to go off your point, so mining is the first way to get it. So actually there's only four ways. There's only really four ways that you'll ever be able to gain or get cryptocurrency. The first one is mining. Like you said, the computing power to confirm the transactions is what it uses.
Yeah.
And so now the amount of power that it takes to actually, get the reward of the Bitcoin is so competitive that it takes like an industrial scale operation. You need a whole warehouse of these, miners to actually, make any money. And I think Mo mentioned, the electricity bill will go through the roof. So that's right. So you actually need to get a lot of them, make more than what your electricity bill is worth. So for most individual computers, it's not able to do that anymore. It used to be able to mine on your laptop. The second way that you can actually get cryptocurrency is to buy it. And the best way probably now is just to buy and hold it. They say hodl in the Bitcoin community, which is just, a misspelling of hold. But if you do that, you're going to want to hold it for, maybe 5 to 10 years. So whatever money you put in there is something that you either will lose or that you don't want to touch at least for 10 years or 5 years. Then the third way, which is actually the most popular right now, is simply buying, selling, and trading. The biggest use case for cryptocurrency right now is speculation. So where is the price going to go? And then the last way to get cryptocurrency is by earning it, which you could do if you asked your employer to pay you in Bitcoin, if you are a merchant on the internet or in real life that set up a POS system or a
point of sale system.
Yeah, or a merchant account online on your own website, which actually I do have as well. And that way you can actually make cryptocurrency by providing value, which is the same as the way as you get cash, right? So there are some ways you can earn it through group mining things and stuff like that too. But those are basically the four ways that you can get crypto. And the way I would recommend to begin with is just buy it, hold it, figure it out, and then begin starting to trade it a little bit. And maybe in the future, maybe 5 years later, ask your employer to start paying you in Bitcoin. But the price will not stabilize until, the majority of the population or a bigger part of the population uses it. That could be, 20, 30 years from now. So
Wasted John says, coins you are watching for in the next coming bull market aside from Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin.
BNB.
So Binance Coin is one of the things we're looking at. The coin code name is BNB. I have a decent amount of holding in that. I have some Ripple. I believe Ripple will go up in the future. I think they're gonna the banking industry is gonna give it a good college try.
And also Western Union as well. They're trying to get into it.
Yeah.
So any company that's going to be destroyed by cryptocurrency will want to use Ripple.
So Ripple, and then also Omise Go, which is OMG. They're actually a real company, multi-billion-dollar company. Yeah. They're operating out of Thailand.
Now's a good time to accumulate, but I would probably mainly stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin at the moment. And then once the market starts going back up, that's when you start trying to get into these other coins.
Is pumping and dumping crypto illegal? They can't trace that.
Yeah, if they can't trace it, it's not illegal. They can pump and dump and nobody can catch them. Yeah, if it's an ICO.
ICO is when you're launching a coin, and it's like a stock market IPO, which is an initial purchase offer. This one is an initial coin offer. This is when people pay money up front to invest into a cryptocurrency, and then they hope to get these coins, and then that the price goes up.
So those are where most of the pump and dumps happen. That's when they're entering the market. So you also have to look at how is it built? Basically, is there any of the coin mined before it becomes public? If that's the case, it's probably a red flag. Altcoins are the most risky, especially in a bear market. You don't really want to be touching them too much. I think one last question we'll take, does AI pose a threat to cryptocurrency or the crypto economy? I would probably say no. It'd actually probably help it. One thing you could probably see in the future is like robots or AI actually paying each other or paying, automated bots within cryptocurrency. So actually it could create more value. But I would probably say quantum computing is the thing that I'd be more scared of. If somebody comes up with a quantum computer that can all of a sudden hack everything, you could basically update Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies to be quantum resistant or make them work with a quantum computer. So, but that's like 10, 20, 40 years out, who knows? So that's, at the moment, there's not really much concern you would have with like AI or quantum computing for that. So.